Okay, so first of all, if you could just introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do.
Tom Quilliam, I'm one of three Quilliam Brothers. We run the Quilliam Brothers Tea House in Newcastle.
And who typically visits Quilliams?
Well, we envisaged it would be entirely pretty much students, but it turns out everyone. So you got office workers lunchtime, after office hours as well. They come after they finish work. Families, lots of kids and parents who are visiting the Hancock. Yeah, a lot of students, absolutely, but even when the students are away, we're pretty busy, so kind of all walks of life. We get people, middle-aged people coming before and after the theatre, for example, at night, so evening hours we expect it to be just the young uns, but again, all walks of life. People come to study, people studying open university courses, so they can be pretty old, lots of lots of people from the international student community as well. Yeah, a whole bunch.
And do you find that it's busy throughout the day, or there's certain times where you're busier?
Well, it depends. If the students are in town, then we're busy from open till close. When they're away, I guess there's dips after lunch, and the evenings are a little more quiet. But during term time, no, busy from 10 a.m. till midnight.
And what sort of feedback have you had from your customers? Like, why do they prefer coming to Quilliams and say Starbucks or Costa, something like that?
Well, I wouldn't say to compare with the likes of Starbucks and Costa. There's nothing unique with what we're doing. We're just an independent coffee house. The feedback we get is for our nighttime service, because it's a relief for people to be able to come to somewhere which isn't alcohol driven. Yeah, of course you get the same feedback as any independent cafe does about it's nice to have local produce, or it's nice to be supporting local businesses and that. But yeah, the biggest feedback we get is for our nighttime service, and that's where people are most appreciative that as an alternative for them.
And how important do you think it is to sort of source locally and organic where possible?
Organic, we're not that fussed about because you can't continue. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Basically, if you want variety, you can't. You can go as as you possibly can. For example, you can do fair trade, but there's also the ethical tea partnership, which is ETP, which is specified for tea, because fair trade's a little bit. It's hard to really be able to trust fair trade as a brand. There's more honed in ones, the ethical tea partnership, and Rainforest Alliance is also good. That's important, but sourcing locally is important. Keeping your money within your community, that's what we put very high on our list of agendas. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's important.
And what sort of extra stuff are you involved with? Are you involved with the arts at all?
Yeah, well, we do the gallery here and obviously here, but we're all musicians, and Pat's an artist as well, so we're involved in the music scene, and Pat does a whole bunch of art outside of here as well. Does commissioned work and stuff like that. So yeah, we try and contribute as much as we can. We hope to expand the tea house into a much bigger project, which is the whole point of this place was to be I guess for the grassroots level of art. It hasn't turned out as much as that as we had hoped, because it's just been too busy, and it was hard to really focus on putting together exhibitions or putting together a good film schedule when you're just rammed all the time. Even with staff, it's funny as soon as people are in here drinking, and we had the whole live music event programmed for upstairs, and it started out fine when it was quiet when we began, because it took a while for people to understand this whole late night tea dry no alcohol thing, but we had to stop doing the music nights because it got so busy upstairs that people were just pissed off that there was music happening. They were like, I'm just coming here to enjoy a quiet cup of tea. So we've had to stop the whole live music event thing, but we hope to. We're working on another project which is much bigger and much more. We'll be able to contribute a lot more, because there's no funding for the grassroots level there is for the arts, but it's very convoluted and pretty hard to get hold of. So in any way we can support local artists or students or whatever in the arts, we hope to.
How much do you think the building you're in adds to the image of Quilliams?
Oh, well, it's immeasurable. But that's the biggest part. It took 3 years to find this building and work on it. It's the most important part. They say location, but location can be modified as long as your building is fantastic. It wouldn't be the same without it. Everything here brings something to the tea house. The open windows makes it sort of like, I don't know, a really nice way to watch the city go by. It brings a lot of light in. It kind of creates the atmosphere upstairs in this basement area. Really contributes to this the evening kind of feeling of sort of, I don't know, the nice hushed kind of talks and like good quality conversation and stuff like that. And and the basement obviously lends itself to the cinema, which obviously you don't need any light for. It all just works, and we were very, very lucky with that. I say it's luck, but it took a hell of a lot of work to get it. The building is the most important, which is why Spanish City sounds like a great,
iconic building.
yeah.
Cool.
And it kind of fit with the whole kind of modern Victoriana sort of thing we were trying to do. It kind of worked. It all just kind of came together.
So if you were to be at Spanish City on the coast, would you tweak the formula you've got? Would you bring certain new things to the menu, perhaps chips or something like that?
Yeah, possibly. I suppose running the kitchen, I would have to think about that. I imagine I would. Yeah, I'm unsure how service would be around lunchtime, for example, on a normal weekday, because you haven't got much in the way of like offices or you've got no students around you. So you'd probably concentrate more on the evening service, to be honest. And obviously with that comes larger meals and sort of more maybe snacky food and stuff like that. But then we've got this kind of, the reason we don't do evening food here is because it kind of jars with the hushed atmosphere and cool atmosphere. And it was a conscious decision we made. We actually did evening meals for a while, and it just didn't work. I don't know if that's something, if we were in Spanish City, that you'd have to make the money from evening food, but I don't know whether it would jar too much with the kind of hushed tea house environment. I'm not sure.
Doug, any other?
I think we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Great.